She unwrapped it, and it sparkled with the same thing I had seen on her finger at the party, but it turned out to be earrings that perfectly matched the green stone. He was giving her expensive jewelry. He was buying my wife. And then, right before my eyes, they kissed. It was a long, passionate kiss. Not business. Not accidental. It was the kiss of two lovers. A wave of cold emptiness washed over me. The pain was unbearable, but it didn't make Tay scream. It made me act. I needed proof that I had been there. I realized that shouting or fighting wasn't needed right now. I needed proof. I pulled out my phone and quickly took a few pictures through the window, as best as one could at that moment, that showed their closeness in the Bulgari box. Then I made a decision. Elle walked back to the front door. I knew it was unlocked since she had just walked in. I took a deep breath, and walked in. The house was dead silent. I stood in the foyer until I heard their voices coming from the living room. I approached Say archway and stood in the passage. Oh, great party, lovers. I hope your headache didn't prevent you from picking out those earrings, Alice. The effect was catastrophic. Brad jumped away from Alice as if shocked, his face turning white. But Alice's reaction was much worse. It was pure, uncontrolled fury, instant, with no trace of guilt. She grabbed the glass of champagne and hurled it. It shattered against the wall next to my head. You. How dare you? You were supposed to be at Sue's. Are you stalking me? You're a paranoid freak. Most sick. She erupted into a hysterical scream, pointing her finger at me. She acted as if she had been rehearsing this role for years, as if I were the criminal. Brad tried to whisper something, but she interrupted him, her voice getting higher. Elle held her gaze and spoke quietly, but firmly. 7 Know your gate code. The same one as for our life together, which you just threw away. Who is Brad, Alice? Is he funding your new career in Bulgari? She started crying. They were fake, theatrical tears, aimed at making Brad protect her and painting me as a monster. Brad finally found his voice. He looked like a guy who had just realized his VIP client was a hysterical woman with baggage. Listen, Mark, I didn't know you were supposed to be at your sister's. It's complicated. Alice and I have been seeing each other for 6 months, but she told me you were living separately and planning a divorce. I would never. Alice cut him off, screaming even louder, her face contorted with rage. She was trapped, and the only way out was to attack. She completely lied. You're lying, Brad. He didn't know. He wouldn't allow me. Mark, you are abusive. You wouldn't give Tay a divorce. You blackmailed me. I was miserable, and you knew I was forced to lie to escape your controlling behavior. Elle shook my head, marveling at her ability to concoct such an elaborate lie in a fraction of a second. It was the bitchy, hysterical strategy, to shift all the blame onto the victim. Elle turned to Brad, who looked bewildered. See, she's lying. We are not living separately. We slept in the same bed last night, and she was overjoyed that I was leaving 50 she could come here. And this, I pointed to my phone, I have photos of you two kissing and of you giving her the silver ring with the green stone, which she told Tay was cheap costume jewelry. Alice lunged at me to snatch the phone, screaming frantically, but I stepped back. You ruined everything. I'm filing for divorce. You'll see what I'll do to you. You'll be left with nothing. She shrieked. She snatched her handbag and ran out of the house, leaving Brad in awkward silence. She had just, officially and loudly, declared the end of the marriage herself. After Alice flew out, leaving broken glass and emotional chaos behind, there was a dead silence. Brad looked like he had just won $1 million and lost it 5 seconds later. I looked at him. You heard her. She's filing for divorce. I don't know what she lied to you about, but I am her husband. At least until today. He was silent, looking at the empty sofa. I took the opportunity. Is this your house or a rental? I asked. A rental. From my company, for VIP meetings. We're allowed to use it when E5 free, Brad whispered. Great. Then you can confirm that you have been meeting Alice at this location for 6 months. Brad sighed heavily, looking guilty. Yes. She said her marriage was completely over. She promised she would file the papers. I believed her. Did you see her wedding ring? She said she wore it to protect her position at work during negotiations. Elle nodded. An incredible lie he had taken advantage of. At that moment, I almost felt sorry for him. He was another victim of her bitchy lies, albeit a very willing one. I quickly glanced around the living room. I saw her phone, left on the coffee table. It was locked, but luckily, I knew her password. I quickly photographed all her messages with Brad, detailing the meetings, intimate details, and, most importantly, her plans to demand as much as possible from me during the divorce, by blaming me for controlling behavior, the very thing she accused Tay of aloud. I photographed the evidence that she had planned this. It was a goldmine of evidence. Thanks for the information, Brad, I said, putting the phone back. I'm filing for divorce, and I'm sure your company Bulgari won't be happy to learn that their VIP cottages are being used for affairs with married women. Good luck.